like, why is this happening? That's why. Because you become a special version of yourself. I'm so proud of you guys. Cold-blooded. That was some cold-blooded. Guys, this is the whole point. Enjoy this one, guys, because you earned every inch.
That's how you play fucking football, bro. When we play company football on all levels, bro, I don't think no team in the NFL really can. They can't, bro. Y'all see this put in week in, week out, bro, and that's how you go out there and make that. There you go. Hey, y'all. Like you hurt. Gang on 3, 1, 2, 3.
I decked my ass. We nailed that son of a bitch.
Good flipping morning, ladies and gentlemen, Fin fans across the nation, across the world. Those of you in sunny South Florida, a beautiful morning. Might be raining down in Miami, but what an absolute gorgeous football game yesterday. Dolphins taking it to the Bills. Finally getting a decisive win against Buffalo, and we're here to talk about it. I'm going to give you my opinion on what that means for the Dolphins going forward in our future. Does it mean anything? Once again, good morning. My name is Culler. This is Culler Commentary, and we are going to have a cup of me with some coffee on the side. Hit the like button, everybody. I'm glad you can join me. We got 34 of you watching already. Keep bringing it up. We're going to go through this. We're going to talk about, are the Dolphins back? Do we have reason to hope? Is this all just nonsense and waiting to exhale? Well, we're going to talk about it all. Apologies for my voice. I spoke for 8 hours yesterday on stream, bringing you all the action of the Dolphins absolutely destroying the Bills in a very decisive win. Probably the first decisive win we've had against the Bills in many, many, many years. The Billikens are out in the 305, baby, and they shined on the Miami Dolphins yesterday. Dolphins winning the turnover battle, which is in the NFL half the battle. And yes, I agree, Bowleg. Good morning to you all. Appreciate Bowleg making a comment, starting it all off. Well, Shake Money starting it all off. Top of the morning to you too, Shake. How'd you like that thumbnail yesterday, Shake? That's pretty cool, ain't it? You could obviously figure out who Tonk was. But great show yesterday. Great post game. Tonk, Ali, Capitan, all the boys helped out. Mr. Polk saw some crypto yesterday. And look, we're going to get into all of what happened yesterday, what it means going forward. I'm going to start, though, by giving you the rundown from scores yesterday. We'll go over the tail of the tape from the game. Get this over with and wrap it up as quickly as within a 2-hour range as possible. Because, like I said, my voice is getting there. I probably am at the brink of the end of it for the week. And we got a game in Spain coming up that actually might matter. We'll talk about why it matters and whether it can matter. But yesterday is NFL action. All kinds of weird stuff happened yesterday in the league. A couple different upsets all over the place. It was definitely an underdog ticket yesterday if you're betting at all. And please bet responsibly. To start off all the action, after the snooze fest on Thursday night between the Broncos and the Raiders, we woke up yesterday morning to the Colts almost getting pinched by the Falcons. They won in overtime 31-25. And they almost got burned for not scoring in the third quarter. But they held out. Still one of the top teams in the league. They moved to 8-2. The Bears survived the Giants at home, 24-20. As I noted, Dolphins absolutely took the Bills to the woodshed yesterday, 30-13, scoring 14 points in the fourth quarter, balking the trend of losing to a good team while putting up a 0 in the third quarter. Glad we overcame that and the 2 turnovers. Ravens got things together yesterday. Overcame the Vikings 27-19 in Minnesota. The Jets doing everything they can to give up their draft position, beating the Browns yesterday 27-20. The Buccaneers falling to the Patriots, who moved to 8-2 and sole possession of first place in the AFC East. That would be 28-23. Patriots Buccaneers just couldn't get the comeback. Losing at home. You got the Saints defeating the Panthers in the Boar Bowl 2. The Boring Bowl 2. Boring Bowl 1 being the Jets and Browns. Panthers don't know what they want to be. Well, that's what happens. And usually a team that don't know what they want to be is 5-5, and that's what they are. Can't believe we lost to that team. Jaguars, Texans amassing a major comeback in the fourth, scoring 26 points in the fourth quarter to defeat the Jaguars 36-29. Seahawks, one of 3 40 burgers put up yesterday in a 4-way shake 'em out matchup for the NFC West. Cardinals falling to the Seahawks 44-22. Down in California, in the same division, the Rams destroying the 49ers 42-26. Seahawks and Rams solidifying their positions atop the NFC West now as the 49ers and the Seahawks continue to shed games. In the third 40 burger was over in the nation's capital last night. Commanders falling to the Lions with a hapless Marcus Mariota, Joe Johnson combination, 44-22. And in Sunday Night Football last night, you saw the Steelers could not get their offense going, took many, many more yards than it has been to score a point, and they could only score 10 of them. So Chargers beat the Steelers 25-10. Teams on the bye, Bengals, Cowboys, Titans, and Chiefs all did not play. And this week, Dolphins will be heading over to Madrid to face the Washington Commanders in Spain. So that 30-13 game, what do y'all think about that? You know, I want to say that, first of all, I have to make it clear to people going forward. We'll get the hard part out the way, just so that there's no confusion and people don't ascribe opinions to me that don't belong to me. The Dolphins exposed the Bills yesterday. The Bills have been slowly falling apart. Their window has been closing. Their fans don't want to admit it. It's just slowly eroding. And the Dolphins played the role of a team that exposed the Bills yesterday. And so I'm going to get the hard part out of the way. I do not in any way believe that Tua has changed at all. I do not believe that Tua is the key to us winning any more ball games or in the future. That being said, I'm not going to harp on a man winning and defeating the Bills and a team defeating the Bills the way we did yesterday. I am quite pleased with what I saw yesterday, because now I'm 100% sure that all we need is a quarterback. You might say, Culler, we just beat the Bills. How dare you say we need a quarterback? Okay, fine. I got it out of the way. That way we don't have to harp on it and people don't have to tell me, because after you hear what I'm about to say, you're going to think I'm a two-and-ear. You're going to think I'm an idiot and I'm a fool and that I think everything's changed and, oh, we're back. No. But I want to put it out there that I in no way have changed my mind about the quarterback situation in Miami whatsoever. I have always honest with all of you. I have never told you I might choose certain things to talk about because of a 2-hour window where I might choose not to talk about others based on the temperature of my audience. Yeah, I do that. That's called show business. Have I ever been disingenuous or lied to you about how I feel or what I'm saying? Absolutely not. In no way whatsoever do I believe that Tua Tagovailoa is the future of the Miami Dolphins, nor will help us advance our cause to winning more consistently. So I got that out of the way. And just because I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say for the rest of the week doesn't mean that's changed. Good morning, Tua Trash. How you doing this morning? Welcome back, Culler. What coffee we drinking this morning? Well, we are drinking Dunkin', freshly ground by myself, and freshly brewed, and it tastes wonderful. Everybody grab your coffee. Thank you for asking, Tua. How you doing this morning, Gabriel? Crazy Dolphin, a.k.a. Mr. Polk. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Fins Up 74. Everybody hit the like button, and I'll get through the tail of the tape from yesterday's game and start to tell you what I think is happening with the Miami Dolphins and what may happen going forward and what could possibly happen. What's up, Back It Up, Binge? Good morning to you. Yo, yes. Oh, you got Dunkin' French vanilla for you, huh? Actually, I have Dunkin', and I do have an additive. I've been really on this brown butter kick, man. I absolutely love this stuff. Down in South Florida, we use euphemisms for analogies all the time that may not be so couth to the rest of the world. But you can call this stuff they would call this well, I'm not going to say it, but let's just say it's highly addictive. This brown butter creamer is like, I could drink it by itself. That being said, on top of that, they got a foam too that's brown butter flavored. Like, are we for real? That's the kind of stuff that lets you know they're really trying to kill us. But I'm pretty sure everybody, I see, couple comments about me being back, coffee and a cup of Culler. It's Monday morning. It's early. This is my groove. This is where I was and wanted to be. And I've been dealing with some things, with some life issues, let's just say, negative and positive. I mean, just life issues, and I had to get certain things done. And, I'm at a point in my trading as far as what I'm trying to, become profitable at and all that. I'm at the point where I have this time available to me now, again, and the energy at the right time. So going forward, I'm probably going to be, a little more consistent here, where I need to be for y'all. So I don't mean it's gonna, it doesn't mean I ain't gonna still have days I can't make it, but I've gotten things organized enough to be able to get back into the groove here at the Fins tailgate. And I really appreciate y'all, the well wishes over the last few months, people asking about me, people, saying, hey, and also people, the compliments, maybe it's a case where people don't, we all end up realizing what we have when it ain't around, I don't know. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. I don't know what the old saying is, but it was it's very telling to me when a lot of people in the community and a lot of people I really didn't expect to step up and say, hey, what's going on with Culler? Nothing terrible, just, had to get things going. I'm dealing with some health issues as I get older, but we're kicking ass and taking names. You know what I mean? It just is what it is, living on. And I'm glad that it's come to this particular spot where the Dolphins can do what they did yesterday. And, kind of, it almost kind of mirrors my own life. It almost kind of is a microcosm of kind of, how I live and how I believe and my viewpoint. Appreciate that too. So we're all human. And here at the tailgate, and I've told you all so many times, I try to bring the humanity to this sport when I bring my takes to you all. I try to look at it like from the standpoint of we're not all computer programs. We're not all in a matrix. Yeah, to a side. That's what I do, Mike. Okay. But I try to, what I saw out of that locker room yesterday after the game, that's what I'm talking about. And I don't want to get into it quite yet. I got to get through the tail of the tape. So hit the like button. I'm going to tease you a little more. We're going to get it done. And, but let's start with the tail of the tape from yesterday. Miami with 19 first downs, Buffalo with 20. We'll go through the quicker stats. Dolphins had 9 first downs rushing, 9 first downs passing, and 1 from a penalty. That makes up the 19. Well-balanced game there. Total plays 53 to Buffalo's 65. Dolphins amassing 370 total yards to Buffalo's 376. Both teams had 11 drives. Dolphins with 7 yards per play. Buffalo with 5.8. And the passing arena. Well, we'll get to that on the individual stats. Miami with 197 total yards rushing, 6.2 per carry. Buffalo 4.0. Dolphins passing 8.2 yards per pass, and the Bills passing for 6.7. Bills were penalized 6 times for 67 yards. Dolphins 5 times for 35. A couple of them highly questionable. Bills were in the red zone 1 time yesterday. Let me repeat that. The Bills were in the red zone 1 time yesterday and did not score. The Dolphins were in the red zone once yesterday and scored. Dolphins giving up the ball, turning the ball over twice. The Bills turning it over 3 times. So the Dolphins winning the turnover battle. Both turnovers for the Dolphins come by way of 2 interceptions. And the Bills had 2 fumbles and 1 interception. Time of possession, 28 minutes, 37 seconds for the Miami Dolphins, and 31 minutes, 23 seconds for the Buffalo Bills. Neither team scoring in the third quarter, but the Bills didn't even score till the fourth. The Dolphins outscoring the Bills in all four quarters, including the one and only quarter the Bills scored in. Dolphins outscoring the Bills in the fourth, 14-13, for a total of 30-13. Individual numbers. Tua on the day, 15 for 21, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 0 sacks. A QBR of 61.2 and a passer rating of 88.1. On the other hand, Josh Allen, 28 for 40, 306 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 3 sacks, a QBR of 28.8 and a passer rating of 98.5. The star of the game ball, Dolphins MVP, Devon Achane, 22 carries for 174 yards, 8 yards per, 2 touchdowns, and a long house call of 59 yards. Jalen Waddle, top receiver yesterday, 5 receptions for 84 yards and a tutty with a 16.8 yard average on 7 targets and a long of 38. Minkah Fitzpatrick recovering the fumble, one of the fumbles. Juju Brents recovering the other. Jordan Brooks with his normal 12 combined tackles, 6 of them solo. Tyrell Dodson, his partner in crime, following him up, 9 total tackles, 5 of them solo. While Jordan Brooks also had 2 tackles for losses. Minkah, 6 total tackles, 6 of them solo all by himself with 1 pass deflection, a very important one if I remember correctly. And a couple of these guys in the secondary. Jack Jones, 6 total tackles, 3 solo, 2 tackles for losses. Dante Trader, 6 total tackles, 3 solo. I mean, great job tackling yesterday, guys. Great job. Jordan Poyer leading the Bills with 8 total tackles, 3 of them solo. Juju Brents and Jason Marshall both also having a pass deflection, as well as Ifiatu Melifonwu. And bringing the total pass deflections to 4. 6 tackle for losses total. That would be 1 for Willie Gay Jr., 1 for Zach Sealer, 2 for Jack Jones, and 2 for Jordan Brooks. The sacks going to Zach Sealer and Willie Gay Jr., and as well as Bradley Chubb, who got penalized for taunting yesterday after the sack. And I must say, really, that's all I'll say. Malik Washington continuing his good average on kick returns. A little bit of a quiet day. 1 return for 24 yards. On the punting side, he had 1 return for 13. Riley Patterson missing an extra point, but also kicking a 46-yard field goal. And Jake Bailey, 3 punts for 153 yards and a 51-yard average. 1 touchback and 2 inside the 20 with a long of 61. Great job punting. Buffalo's punter numbers look very similar. 4 punts. That's all I'll say. I don't need to run through their, their guys can do that. All in all, a well put together and decisive win for the Miami Dolphins against the Buffalo Bills, who are obviously struggling. I'm not going to take anything away from the Dolphins here, because we definitely did what we needed to do to take advantage of their struggles. But Buffalo needs some help. They are definitely regressing, and it's starting to speed up. However, they were in this spot where they were like 6 losses or something, and we were a Tennessee victory away from, and a Dallas victory away from locking in the AFC East. And yeah, they won the division that year. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, the Bills were trash, so that's the only reason the Dolphins beat them. But the Buffalo Bills did lose to the Miami Dolphins. And regardless of what we think about our team and all that, I being the one that probably thinks the best of it, apparently. It's amazing, but whatever. If we are that bad, then the Buffalo Bills just lost to arguably the worst team that's ever stepped foot on the field in Miami. So either they lost to that team, or we played a complete football game and we won a game the only way you can win a game in the NFL, when your quarterback is inferior. We could have won every game that way. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm here to tell you, we can win every game like that going forward. Is it likely? Is it probable? No. I haven't changed nothing. You know, I mean, but now we have to base our assessment, to be fair to our team, which we have a responsibility to as fans. And here's the thing: you can hate on your team, you can hope we lose for your own reasons. You fan any way you want, but you have to give your team respect. If you don't, then you're not a fan. That I will say. You have to be fair to them. That's our one duty as fans. What gives us the ability to criticize them when they lose is our fairness when they win. And if you're not willing to give that fairness and look at things realistically when we win, then that does say something about your fandom and the validity of it. Because to be a fan of a team means you respect them, means you're fair to them. Why do I have an obligation to be fair to the Buffalo Bills in my assessment? I'm not a fan of them. I'm also not a paid journalist. I can say whatever I want about the Buffalo Bills. I could mislead their fans. I could do whatever I want. I'm not a paid journalist. I mean, I can't libel them. I can't slander them, but, you know, that aside, it's our duty as fans to be fair to the team. And so if somebody is asking me whether we can go on a run and achieve a 10-7 record, or let's say let's do it like this. If anybody's going to ask me this week, and I don't know why I didn't change my background. God, this looks terrible. Why didn't y'all tell me my background was still blank? I got this nice little moving, looping cup of coffee that's got like steam coming off of it and all that. Like, look at this good stuff here that HB puts together for us. Wait, I got to get the right view here. I mean, look at this. I mean, that's just gorgeous, man. Anyway. About lost my train of thought. So back to our duty as fans. Oh, going forward, if you're going to ask me, and you know, come here looking for my assessment going forward, like we got the Washington Commanders coming up. Oh, thanks, Chris. We got the Washington Commanders coming up. Then we got the Jets. And then another bad team. But what's a bad team? I mean, what's a bad team? Is a bad team one that turns the ball over 3 times and loses to a 2-7 football team? Is that a bad team? Because that when we do that, we're considered a bad team. I mean, I have to now make my assessment. This is the conundrum that inconsistency puts me in, right? This is why I can't stand inconsistency with a football team. Because now I'm in the awkward position when you ask me, how's things going to go this week, Culler? How are we going to win this week against the Commanders? Are we still tanking? Well, we never were. And that's where the humanity comes involved. We never were tanking. You don't get to choose that. You don't get to say, oh, because we're losing and we lost 7 games, embarrassed in 7 games. You don't get to say we're tanking. You don't get to fall. Oh, we're obviously tanking. No, we're just bad. We just weren't executing. And when I say we're just bad, I mean we were playing bad. Yeah, for 7 games. That's right. It happens. And at 7 games, I don't blame anybody for saying, well, you are what you are. That's a bad football team. Well, it's not just a tanking word, realist. It's a tanking. It's not just a Gen X word. Tanking is a Gen X concept. That's why we've been defeated generationally. You got the generation behind us gatekeeping the riches, and you got the generations in front of us trying to break through that door, ruining it for us. So yeah, that's exactly why we lost. We lost the generational fight. Gen X is worthless. All we do is sit here and complain about everybody, and then give up. And we think that tearing everything down is the way to improve. That's what got us into this mess in the first place in society. But that's a whole nother discussion. I don't believe in tanking. I never have. I've been completely open and honest with y'all about that from the beginning. But I don't even think anybody has the choice to tank. Tanking is what sycophants tell themselves when they can't fathom the idea that their football team is just playing bad. Well, yesterday, the Buffalo Bills were absolute garbage. I don't know how anybody would say anything different. The question is, why? On the other token, The Dolphins were ready to capitalize on that. And they acted. And they executed. Good morning, Vaughn Green. Very lovely to see you, man. It's been a while. Shout out to you too, buddy. Hope everything's going well for you. I am absolutely 100% pleased with what I saw yesterday. And I am in complete celebration mode. I know the cynic in me always comes out. It came out all day yesterday, all night last night. And yeah, I'm still cynical about this team. But going forward, I've always told y'all that I would tell you how we're going to win. And when my audience don't want to hear how we're going to win, that's not what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about whatever. I'm going to try to convince everybody that Mike McDaniel's not going anywhere, nor should he. I'm going to try to convince everybody that tanking is stupid. It's a defeatist mentality. Because that's what everybody was talking about. But now we just beat a team in a way that we haven't beaten anybody of that caliber in a very long time. Because despite the Bills being garbage yesterday, that was just yesterday. And the Bills will be just fine as soon as they get somebody that can catch the frickin' football. So I am not going to diminish our win by sitting here hyping up that the Bills are garbage now. They were garbage yesterday. But we were ready to capitalize. And there's been plenty of times that we've faced the Bills where they were absolute garbage and still beat us. That is why we're off of Tua to begin with. People act like the Bills have destroyed us every game we've lost to them. No. Every single game we play against them goes the same way. And this time, we decided that there's nothing wrong with it being us that is ready to capitalize as a team. And I'm going to appeal to the Josh Allen haters in the Dolphin fan base and in the Buffalo fan base. Do you all think that you've been winning the way you have by not playing the way Miami did yesterday? Or did you really think that Josh Allen was Dan Marino? Be honest with yourself. Because there is only one way to win in the NFL. Whether you have a quarterback or whether you don't. The only difference is what happens when everybody's got a tummy ache. And that's when having a quarterback saves your season. But you're not putting 13 wins up on the back of Josh Allen. I'm sorry. And you all figured that out when you had 6 losses, when you were behind the Dolphins 2 games in the division a couple years ago. You found all that out, and you started playing like a team again. And you rattled off a whole bunch of wins. So now the Dolphins have 7 losses. And they just kicked the ever-loving shit out of you. And now we have 3 wins. And we got a lot of wood to chop. But I tell you what, if you're going to ask me whether we're going to continue to chop wood, all I can do is tell you how sharp our axes are. That's all I can do. I'm not going to sit here and lie and be like, I didn't witness what I witnessed yesterday. First of all, I knew we had that in us. First of all, I've been telling you all that we have that in us for 5 years now. You know who the leader of our team is? And I know it's going to be cliche already. And it's going to seem obvious. But there's a reason he wears one of the best numbers that God ever created, and that's 28. 28's a very special number for me in my personal life. Ironically. I bought 2 of the man's jerseys. 2. And I gifted one to somebody for Christmas. Because every word out of that man's mouth in the locker room yesterday is God sent 100% truth. He's been trying to show it to y'all. He's been trying to show you what execution is. He catches every freaking ball thrown to him. He hits almost every hole. He makes a house call every other game. Almost had 2 yesterday. Oh, that's right. He did have 2. I consider 35 yards out a house call. And if you thought that winning football in the NFL and beating the Buffalo Bills the way we did yesterday and rattling off another 7 wins, you think any of that's going to happen without following the words of Devon Achane, you're wrong. You're wrong. It don't matter who it is up under center. Because you'll end up with somebody like Josh Allen that puts up 300 yards a game, but cannot lead his team to victory. So if you're asking me what we're going to do this week and going forward, whether we're going to rattle off 7 wins, I'm going to tell you I have absolutely no idea at this point. I do know that mathematically speaking, with the way the rest of the NFL looks, I do know after what I saw yesterday that we absolutely have the ability to. I'm going to go ahead and take a victory lap on telling you all that this team did not need to be blown up. This team has the goods. Most teams in the NFL do. So I can sit here and be like, well, I don't know. Tua had an awful bunch of tummy aches yesterday. But the team brought the Pepto. The team brought the antacid. And I just don't know if that's sustainable. If you're going to ask me about 7 wins. But I am going to be fair to the team. I'm going to be fair to my Miami Dolphins because that's my duty as a fan. And I'm going to say I absolutely believe we can. I absolutely believe we have the ability to. Is every game when Tua has a tummy ache, is every game going to go like that? No. That's why we need another quarterback. Because you have to rely on your team to win, but you can't rely on your team to carry you every single time. Otherwise, they would all make the same amount of money. However, you cannot win in the NFL without a team that can put you on their back in a situation like yesterday. I knew our team could. I knew this roster was solid. You all knew this roster was solid. Two and ears all knew this roster was solid. I don't give a damn what they've been saying since we started 2-7. But now this roster is human. And everybody can see that humanity displayed right there in the locker room yesterday. And this is a tough effing sport. Trying not to use the F word in the morning. YouTube don't like it. It's not very respectful, I know. To the morning crowd. Y'all God-fearing people up at the sunrise. By the way, the weather is absolutely lovely in South Florida today. Well, partly cloudy, but it's clearing up. The clouds are baking off, and I think we're poised to have blue skies and sunshine today. And you can't ask for a better weather in the country if you're not in San Diego. So now I'm in a conundrum. And all I know what to do when I'm in a conundrum is be myself and be honest. The probability of Miami Dolphins running the table here, making the playoffs, and actually making a difference in this season is next to zero. But you know what else was next to zero? Absolutely curb stomping the Buffalo Bills yesterday. That chance was next to zero. And I'm not talking about just beating the Bills or covering the 7.5 point spread or whatever, making it respectable. That's not what I'm talking about. We absolutely curb stomped the Buffalo Bills yesterday. So who is going to tell me in this country, in this world, who's going to tell me that these 53 guys don't have the ability to do that? I function in the real world. In case y'all didn't notice. I don't function on Twitter. I don't function in this imaginary bot world of the internet. I function in the real world. And in the real world, we just kicked the ever-loving shit out of the Buffalo Bills. So there is nobody on this planet, to be clear and say it again, there is nobody on this planet that's going to tell me We don't have the ability to. I don't care if you think it's a fluke. I don't care about the any given Sunday bullshit. That's where consistency comes in. That's where consistent execution comes in. Because there is nobody on the planet that's going to tell me if we don't execute the way we did yesterday on both sides of the ball for 60 football minutes, that we're not going to beat every single team left on our schedule. Every single one. And you know what? I even said last night that we could still afford to lose one. There's been plenty of teams get in the playoffs 9-8. It's a tradition every year now. I don't want to be that team. I understand the whole, well, what's the point? I get all that. The point is you don't need no goddamn draft picks. Did you not see what I saw yesterday? You're going to tell me we're going to give up what we saw yesterday for a draft pick? Is that what you all are telling me? That we can't believe in what we saw yesterday? What makes you think we can believe whatever we bring in next? I'll wait. Y'all got a crystal ball? I'd love access to it. I'm willing to pay for access to this crystal ball. All I know is what's presented to me. And so have I, Cece. We both watched it together. And all I know is what's presented to me. I bet on the Bills minus 4.5 yesterday to cover 4.5. I bet on what's presented to me. The Dolphins presented me a 2-7 embarrassing record. Not even respectable losses. Just crap after crap after crap. Based on how we played yesterday, Dolphineer, it ain't hard to get better at QB, because the QB that threw 2 interceptions yesterday, you're telling me that, okay, we don't just take away those 2 interceptions? What happens if we take away those 2 interceptions? Just take away one of them. Give us Josh Allen's performance yesterday on our side of the ball. With our defense played the way it did, and with Achane running the ball the way he did, give us Josh Allen's stat line and tell me what you think the score would be yesterday. As great as the score was. I mean, you even got G-Man talking Super Bowl. I know he's joking, but I'm not joking, but at the same time, I am still realistic, Dolphineer. I would never in a million years put any kind of money on us doing anything different but failing to execute next week in the same way that we have for the last 5 years. But I would have expected that to come yesterday against the Buffalo Bills. Let's be real here. So now you go back and you look at our 7 losses and you say, sure, it sucks. There's no excuses. This is not about making excuses or convincing anybody that things are different or not as bad as they seem or whatever. It's not about that. But we have to be fair. That's our duty as fans. We have to recognize what the Colts have done this year. We have to recognize what the Patriots have done this year. You know why? Because we're 5 games behind them. How can we not recognize what the Patriots have done this year? Now, I know there's teams we've lost to that are just garbage. We righted the ship against a bad team in Atlanta. You know, so you could say, okay, here's the comeback to that. I'm going to go ahead and steel man y'all or think I'm being foolish. But Culler, that just means we can't beat the good teams. If you're saying to me we got 7 losses because we got caught off guard by the fact that the Colts are better than everybody thought and the Patriots are better than everybody thought and all this, and you're saying we got caught off guard, then that just means we can't beat the good teams like always, Culler. That's what it means, right? And normally I would agree with you. But I'm not going to agree with that today. Not today. I'm not going to sit here and listen to a bunch of people hype up the Buffalo Bills in our fan base for the last 5 years and then turn around and have people diminish our win yesterday because Buffalo is all of a sudden a crap team. Well, you know what? They might be crap. But they're over 500. You are what your record says you are. And we're 3-7. And we're 3-7. That's what we are. Until we're something different. We were 2-7 yesterday. Until we were something different. Now we're 3-7. And the Buffalo Bills lost to a bad team. And we lost to a bunch of bad teams. And we lost to a bunch of good teams. And we don't even know where we're at anymore on the scale of beating bad teams and beating good teams and teams over 500 and playoff contenders and all of that. See, all of that don't matter. Because I've been telling you since the beginning of the year. what I'm excited about for this year. I have to take a little bit of an L. I did not expect my 2-9 before the bye record prediction was going to be smashed by a win against the Buffalo Bills in that fashion. I have to admit, take an L on that one. But what have for anybody that's really been paying attention to me all season, what have I said this year is what we get to watch this year and why I'm excited for this year, win or lose? What's the key concept? We haven't seen it in a long time in Miami. We haven't seen it in a very long time in Miami. But we saw it yesterday. What we saw yesterday was a concept, very simple one, that I call real football. Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Real football. Not whatever all the half-ass casual fans think football is. Not what all the effeminates out there think football is. It's not what all the drunk fans in the stadium think it is. Real football is what we saw yesterday. That's real football. I've been describing to y'all since I've known you. 5.5 seasons straight now. I've been describing to y'all what real football is. And everybody thinks they know. And everybody, oh, our offensive line. Oh, our defense. Oh, everything but Tua. Oh, everything's Tua's fault. None of that is real football. What you saw yesterday, what Devon Achane is talking about in the locker room yesterday, in case you didn't hear him, and when I say hear him, I mean hear him. He said that is what happens when you play real football. I don't know what else to call it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what real football is. But if you're going to ask me what I saw yesterday, above and beyond everything else, was real football.
Am I right, bitches?
100%. So the question was never whether the Dolphins are going to go on a 7-game run. The question was never that. The question was never, what is Miami's record going to be this year? The question was never, are we tanking? The question was never, what's our record going to be before the bye? The question was never, are we ever going to get out of purgatory? The question is the same as the question's been since the sport was invented. Are you going to do next week what you just did yesterday? That is the fucking question. Sorry, I done did it. I done did it. That's okay. We're an hour into the show. Hit the like button, everybody. Come over to YouTube if you're on Kick or Twitch or Twitter. Anywhere you're hearing my voice, come over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel so more people can hear what I'm saying right now, because what I'm telling you all right now is the absolute truth. I ain't even got to say it. All I got to do is point you to number 28. That's all I got to do. See, number 28 grew up a lot like I did. I can tell. Watching football. Number 28 understands why football is the greatest sport on the planet that's ever been devised by mankind. Because there's no other sport like it in the world. There's been no other before it, and there will be none after. It is the ultimate proving ground for physical, mental, and intellectual merit. There is no other sport like it. There is no other sport where you go to battle and still have to rely on your wit the way you do in football. Football is controlled war. Football is a war game. And the best players of football, of that war game, are the Sun Tzus of the world. The ones that really know what the sport is about and why it was created. Devon Achane is a student of this sport. He is the sport. He's an embodiment of the sport. Sport comes from the word spirit. And they come from the same word that guest and host come from, and ghost, and geist. Devon Achane is the sport. So the question will always be, what are you going to do next week? Are you going to do what you just did yesterday again? And again. And again. Times 7. And more. And more after that. Because there's next season. And there's the season after that. And there's every season until my carbon unit draws a breath of oxygen. We have to do what we did yesterday again. I don't care what you think our record's going to be. I don't want to make no record predictions. I don't want to tell you we're going to beat everybody in these teams because of this and that and the other. I'm going to tell you we're going to beat Washington this week if we play the way we did yesterday. If you think we're going to play the way we did yesterday, we will have no problem winning next week. If you don't think we're going to play the way we did yesterday next week, then you think we're going to lose. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying there is no way that any of these hopes and dreams and these fantasies about us being back, the only way that's happening is if we play the way we did yesterday. So there's no point in asking whether we're going to win or lose. The only question to ask is, are we going to do what we did yesterday next week? See, in this universe, we only know about what things in this universe that we can see, observe, measure, however you want to express it. And anything beyond that is irrelevant. Unless you're unless you're a religious person, obviously. But even those people believe that that's substance. So beyond substance, there is anything else beyond what you can feel you observed is irrelevant. But when you observe it, it's there. You can't say it's not. It's there. It happened. However many of the 53 men we played yesterday, they did what we saw. We didn't imagine it. Now everybody will say, "Well, if we lose again or against the Commanders, or we just fall back off a cliff and don't win another game, that didn't really happen." No, it still happened. What we did yesterday still happened. Still not to be diminished. Doesn't prove anything if it doesn't happen again, other than that we're inconsistent. That's all it would prove. It wouldn't prove that Buffalo beat themselves or any of that nonsense. It would prove that in the next game we lose, we decided not to capitalize and execute. That's what it would mean. It means that for every single team. There is no bad teams and good teams. There are only bad quarterbacks, good quarterbacks, teams that execute, and teams that don't. That's all there is. Any one of those combinations consistently can win you a championship. But the part about not executing will never win you anything. It don't matter who your quarterback is. Your quarterback can throw 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 5,000 yards, and still go 4-12. Yes, that is true. The only difference that a better quarterback would make right now is that we wouldn't have to nibble our fingernails as much during the game. As much. I mean, there's nothing we're going to do about it right now. The team obviously still wants to win. The team is not in tank mode. The team is fighting for their lives, for their livelihoods, and they're fighting for us. Who do you think gave me the ability to say what I'm saying right now? Who gave me that license? They did. They earned that for us. If not for one day. And their intention was to earn it for themselves. But they earned it for us. Because we're the ones out here today talking our smack. We're the ones that got to watch an entire fan base walk out of our stadium in embarrassment. And this time they weren't wearing aqua and orange. They earned that for us yesterday. If not for one day. If not for 1 week. Now I'm looking at things. Now, yes, last night when the show was still going on and we were still trying to digest what happened and what it means going forward. Since then, we've had another football game go in the books. Of a team that's on our schedule. A team that was highly lauded. I mean, I was lauding them yesterday about their yards per point on offense. Didn't amount to a hill of beans last night. Didn't amount to a hill of beans last night. Because the humans on the field didn't execute. And that's what Devon Achane understands. And that's why these guys still believe in themselves. And that's why them guys are celebrating the way they did yesterday, despite being 3-7. To them, it mattered. And we haven't seen that in a long time. It mattered to everybody in that locker room. If not for one day. This group of guys may never be together again after this year. They may yet blow this thing up. Likely still. I likely am still wrong about Mike McDaniel's ice cold chair. I could be wrong about all that. What I'm not wrong about is our ability and our reality. And if we don't use that ability to execute the way we did yesterday, it's over. And they will blow it up. But I want you to imagine, just for a moment, I want you to imagine that things go the way mathematics and probabilities and statistics say they're supposed to go. Let's just imagine for a moment the numbers will play out correctly. We should win the next 3 games. If we weren't 3-7 right now, if we weren't 3-7 right now and we lost yesterday, we would be expecting to still win the next 3 games. So we have to do it. We have to do it to make sure that the script ain't flipped, that we're not just showing up for the good teams for the sake of it and then going back to sleep against the bad teams. Now, we don't have to do that because we're 3-7. We can just go right back in the closet, start trading guys again, or, talking about all that, purposely losing again. We can do all that. But I don't think that's what the guys want to do. I wholeheartedly agree, Miami kid. We still have to draft a QB. But so did the Rams have to get Matt Stafford when they went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff. There's no reason not to take the team you have and give max effort. Because if the case is that if we start to see our quarterback lose us games or start to see the same things we saw that got us to a 3-7 record, I think that we all can be sure that there's a reason the guys are not in the mindset they were in yesterday. We'll say it like that. Because we know they have the ability. We just witnessed it. Buffalo is not a weak team. Yeah, they had some injuries. But they're not a bunch of soft, weak men. So we do have the ability. The conversation this week, the debates between all the children on Twitter, should be about whether we're going to replicate that. Not whether we're going to beat the bad teams, not whether we're going to beat another good team, not whether they're actually really tanking and McDaniel just thumbed Ross in the eye. We're not going to talk about all that. The conversation is, are we going to do what we did yesterday next week? That's the simple question. And the reason I keep bringing it down to that question is because that is the only question that can determine where we go from here. Now get back to the imaginary part. Imagine for a moment the mathematics workout and we beat the next 3 teams. And we're sitting at 6-7. At that point, we have to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Likely the toughest out besides the Patriots remaining on our schedule. And now we saw what we saw last night from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I ask you, what kind of a chance does a 6-7 team who just rattled off 4 wins, one of them being against the Buffalo Bills, what chance does that 6-7 team have to beat a team that's got 4 losses right now? I'm not asking what chance we have right now of beating the Steelers. I'm asking what chance a 6-7 team that just rattled off 4 wins, one against the Buffalo Bills, in the fashion we beat them, going in to face the Pittsburgh Steelers, what chances does that 6-7 team have? Because that is the team we put on the field yesterday. Let me repeat that. That is the team we put on the field yesterday. So you can understand why that's the only question. Because that is the only question. Are we going to field that team again? Every game going forward. Win or lose. Because I can handle losing a game with a team like that. And we all know why we would have lost yesterday if we did. We all know it. It's the same reason they lost. And that's the same reason it's in my title of my show today. We won the turnover battle. If you want a synopsis on yesterday's game, in a nutshell, defense, running game, and we won the turnover battle. And now, even with Tua, he's not going to throw 2 interceptions every single game. Now, there are those that would say, well, that's what he's on pace for. Okay, fine. If you think he's going to throw 30 interceptions this year, then I can't change your mind. But we know damn well Tua plays games. In his 5.5-year career, we have seen him play games without throwing an interception. Okay? And if he didn't throw one yesterday, we would have won. We would have put up a 50 burger on the Buffalo Bills. Prove me wrong. I know you can't prove me wrong, but what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying. If you don't, then you're being disingenuous. Because it's a very simple concept. Better quarterback play always makes you better. Even a good team. It is okay to say you're a good team with an inferior quarterback. It is okay to say that. Likewise, for the people that just can't stand Tua, and likewise have somehow associated that with not being able to stand our team, you were proven wrong yesterday. I told you this team had the ability. I've told you for 5.5 seasons that this roster is as good as it's going to get. That all it would take is execution, and you can beat anybody. Not just any given Sunday, every Sunday. And the reason we know that is because we're Dolphin fans. We actually have done that every Sunday for an entire season. And if you think that it wasn't execution in 1972 that gave us the ability to do that, you're wrong. Football has changed, yes, but one thing has remained the same. Execution is the key to winning, and that goes for any sport. I know it's real generalized. Of course, Culler, it takes execution. I get it. No, you don't. Because if anybody did get it, they wouldn't be talking about all these other reasons we lose. All these other reasons we can't overcome Tua and his issues. Everybody makes it about everything else when it really boils down to execution. It boiled down to execution last night for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It boiled down to execution for the San Francisco 49ers yesterday. It boiled down to execution for the Buffalo Bills yesterday. For the Minnesota Vikings. For the Indianapolis Colts, who almost got pinched in Berlin. And you know why? Because they put up a goose egg in the third quarter. Like I tell you all. They had to go to overtime to make up for it. Their third quarter points came in overtime. It came down to execution for the Carolina Panthers yesterday. How does a team go 5-4 with a trash quarterback, nothing but a running game, and then all of a sudden lose? Execution. How does a team like the Baltimore Ravens win a Super Bowl in the fashion they won it? When everybody talks about, oh, you can win with a bad quarterback. The Ravens did it. The blah, blah, blah did it. Yeah, how did they do it? Execution. Everybody got razzled and dazzled by Bill Belichick and his concept of do your job and all that. Do your job. Oh, the league, the sycophants in the league, they love that shit. It went forever. Do your job. You know what do your job is a synonym for? It's Bill Belichick's way of saying execute. He had to change the whole phrase and the whole word to bring an old concept, a cliche, back to importance by calling it do your job. It's execution. It's the same thing. You have a choice in your own lives when you do your jobs. You have a choice. Let's say you're a carpenter. You have a choice to pick up that hammer, pick up that nail, and put it in that piece of wood. The other choice you can make is you can get in your truck and you can drive home. You have that choice. So you have the choice to execute your job or go home. Which one gets you paid? Rhetorical question. Let's go to the poll results for today. In case you all didn't notice, I do have a poll running. Let's see. It's been running since the show started. I didn't mention it, but those of you that have voted in the poll, thank you very much. Appreciate your opinion. Everybody hit the like button. It's required to vote in the poll. Just kidding. There's no way for me to enforce that. But it would be kind of you to hit the like button before you answer the poll question. But please answer the poll question. And the poll question today, as soon as I can pull it up on my screen, is: does this win matter to you? Does it really matter to you? It's your opinion. I'm not trying to guide anybody's opinion. I've spoken on the matter for the last half hour, 40 minutes. Everybody can formulate their own opinion. Some of you didn't need to wait to hear me talk before you made an opinion. That's cool too. I'm not here to think for everybody. The poll question is, does this win matter to you as a Dolphins fan? And obvious answers are yes and no. And then, of course, I always provide a third option. That's what America's about. America's about a third option. Nothing else matters is the third option. Nothing else matters. You're like, whatever, this is all stupid anyway. You're just waiting for next year to see what we do in the draft and all that. You believe Mike McDaniel's gone. This is all just lipstick on a pig, whatever you want to call it. Nothing else matters. That's the third option. So far we have 60 votes in. Pretty decent sample size for our neck of the woods. We got 30 likes, so we got half as many likes as we got votes. So there's people that are, taken from the vote bin and not donating any likes. Okay, but that's okay. The system will still record your vote. 63 of you have voted. Current results, I'm going to keep it up till the show's done. I'm going to probably end the show here in another 20 minutes to make sure I didn't leave anything out in my thoughts this morning. 48% say yes, this win matters to you. 41% have said no. Wow, neck and neck. Our fan base seems to be completely divided on whether this actually matters or not. And 11% have said nothing else matters. Oh, wait, that was wrong. Nothing else matters means you don't care. There is nothing but winning. No matter how bad your team is, no matter whether you're firing the coach or not, no matter what's going on, tank, nothing. There is nothing else that matters but winning. You're in the anti-tank crowd. That's what I meant to tell you about the third option. So you got 48% have said, yes, this win does matter. 11% have said nothing else matters, which means 59% of our audience, 63 votes, have said that this win matters. Only 41% of you say no. 41% of you are so jaded that you're like, whatever, dude. And I understand it. I'm in the whatever dude crowd too. But it does matter to me because I'm in the nothing else matters club. You're never going to taste consistent winning until you start winning consistently. If you're always trying to find reasons to tank and give up, you're always going to be tanking and giving up. It's football. You're going to lose. Unless you're the Miami Dolphins in 1972. You know, this whole fan base implodes when we get a loss. I understand why, because we know why we're losing and we can't do anything to fix it. Yeah, bat out of hell. I agree with you. I grew up in a bitter rivalry with a friend of mine, with a friend of the family that was a Bills fan. There is nothing to me that matters more than beating the Bills and the Jets, man. I mean, the only reason I don't say the Patriots is because 22 years, you kind of got to do much more than just beat them, you know, to make a difference there. So it's kind of, you know, save your energy on the Patriots. See, there you and I finally agree on something, bat out of hell. But you're not blocked. We don't generally do that around here. Generally, because we're not gullible either. We are a free speech platform, but we also understand that freedom is not licensed around here. Anyway, but welcome, bat out of hell. I know you're probably happy. I'm happy too. Absolutely. Just stellar performance yesterday. Nothing but real football. That's the word of the week, people. Real football. That's why I started the show, got up early this morning. I was only preempted by Joe, the great Joe Rose himself, because he comes on at 6 a.m. and broadcasts over the air in Miami and all over YouTube. But I came on at 7 because I wanted to get the word out there. The word today is real football. It's 2 words, but it's a hyphenated word in the football world. There's bad football and real football. There's no good football. There's just bad football and real football. And we watched real football yesterday. Coming around, bat out hell. I'm not the one that coming around. The team came around. The team understands what real football is. Now, they may have understood the whole time. I generally believe they do. And probably just couldn't get it done physically. That's okay. Because now we know they can. They can't turn around on us now, bat out of hell, and be like, yo, yeah, that wasn't us yesterday. They can't do that anymore. They have now laid it on the field. They have put it out there. We have the ability to do this. And I want to re-sign that ability. I want all of that ability to stay. If there's a player that doesn't have that ability, then they can go. I want that ability to play real football to stay. If it means all 53 guys, that's what it means. As much as I can't stand Tua, as much as I think we need to trade him, it really, in the long run, never mattered. If we're playing real football, the quarterback will come eventually. But we're going to have a lot of fun in the meantime watching real football. Like I told you when the season started, I don't care if our record is 2-9 at the bye. I'm excited because there is nothing left for this team but real football. That's all there is left. All the talk, all the hype, all the superstars have gone. All the big names are sitting on the pine or on the couch nursing injuries. They're all playing in Philadelphia, whatever else. All of that is gone. Every bit of that. The flash, the bling, the softness, the finger wagging, all of it's gone. There is only real football left. And that's what we saw yesterday. I've been waiting 5.5 years to show you all that in real time. Real time. You saw it yesterday. We may never see it again out of this team. We may see it for 3 more weeks and then boom, it's gone against Pittsburgh. We may see it the rest of the year, then boom, it's gone against Kansas City. It may be gone next week in Spain. But we saw it yesterday. So we know it's there. Ain't nobody going to argue with me. Not to a haters, not to a sycophants, not the beat writers, not the former players, not Kurt Warner. Nobody. I know what I saw yesterday. I saw real football. Fins up, everybody.